So first off, you guys like the hat?
Yes, very
That's
nice.
really cool, yeah.
It's coming into the season soon. We might need to get beanies.
Mm.
We might need to get L9 beanies. I can't believe it, but here in Gold Coast, they're actually gonna ask. They're asking for the jumpers.
The jumpers.
Really?
Mm, crazy. All right, let's get started. Welcome back to Inside L9, the podcast where we dig into programming, what we do at L9, the people, some of the processes, what's happening at L9. And we really want to talk about, I really want to try to make this podcast about talking about what we're actually doing at L9 and about the initiatives that we're running, and how members can tap into that. And that's really what I want to make it about. But, at the same time, there's a lot of opportunity to talk about learning. Today's episode is all about evolution, this brand new function we're rolling out. There's a lot of learning. There's a lot of things that we're discovering as we're trying to get evolution rolled out. And fundamentally, it's a goal tracking system inside L9. And that's what I really want to talk about today. But before we dive in, we got two things we have got to talk about. And the first one is to talk about Ronaldo's recent comp win in Melbourne.
Oh,
Massive shout out to
Yeah.
Ronaldo.
Congrats.
thank you.
So now, if I'm counting this right, you've now won two Australian comps back to back.
Yeah.
The Melbourne Fitness Expo Freestyle comp,
Mm-hmm.
and then the Burleigh Bars one. That's no joke. That's a lot of momentum that
And the
you're
Titan.
building up. And Titan, yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's 3-3 Titan. Yeah. And as much as I want to not say this, Titan kind of isn't your traditional freestyle comp at all. It's more of a talent show. So I guess it's not in any specific circuit. A lot of fun though, right, Titan?
Yeah, it's very fun.
But let's talk about the recent one that you won.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What was the vibe like? I mean, it's at the actual Melbourne Fitness Expo, right?
Yes. Oh my
When
God.
was that? That was
It was
recently.
last Saturday.
Yeah.
It was so good. The vibe was insane. Like, so many members come over to watch. Oh, it was so good. Everyone was like screaming my name. Let's go, Ronaldo. Let's go, Ronaldo. The vibe was,
Ronaldo.
yeah,
Ronaldo.
it was so good.
Ronaldo.
And like, it was packed. In the final was like at least 200 people watching. So a big crowd. Everyone stopped to watch. And I was feeling really good. So it was a great day. I'm never gonna forget this comp.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's the same organizers that planned the Burleigh Bars as well.
Yeah, it was the same one. Like, actually, the belly bars, I went last year and I was helping to organize the comp. So, and for this year, I decided to compete, or last year, I decided to compete. And it
Yeah.
was really cool. Yeah. It was really, really
Nice.
cool. Great vibe.
So who were you battling in the finals? Who was the semifinals? Who was the finals?
The finals was Ethan and Rice. They are really strong. Actually, they are better than me in statics. Like, they are insane. The statics level was insane. But like, it was a freestyle comp, so I have more freestyle than them, and because this I won.
I'm sure it's not just that.
Yeah.
Mind you, I mean, Ethan, so for context for anyone who's listening, Ethan and Rice both competed in the very first Titan
Mm-hmm.
that we ran as well. And both are extremely capable athletes. Like that's understating things, right? The way
Definitely.
that's understating it big time. There's no easy way to describe Ethan and Rice here, but
Yeah.
like we're talking about statics that are
Their level is insane. For example, Rice was the second place, and he did the full pelican. The full pelican is
the
literally
full pelican.
is literally
Cool.
the hardest skill. It's like the top one is the hardest skills. It's like he did it twice, so he did two full pelicans. What
Okay,
is
just to make sure
insane?
that we're both talking about the same thing. That's essentially starting from Planche
Yeah, full planche.
on and then dropping down into a
Dropping
back lever
onto back lever and pull back
and then
up.
come back up.
Yeah,
Oh,
Oh,
that's
that is
crazy.
that's
insane.
crazy. Yeah,
So
it's crazy.
is that straight arm? No, it's not. It's bent arm on the way down.
Yeah, like bench
It's bent arm.
arms.
It's not straight arm. So it doesn't stop in a Maltese. It drops straight through. So it's not like it goes through a Maltese. But it doesn't go through a Maltese, does it?
But like, there's no way for go to Maltese because you're in planche. So for go to Maltese, you have to open the arms.
To open the arm. Yeah. So
Yeah,
you're going straight down.
yeah,
Yeah.
straight down, like bench
Yeah.
arm, transition to back lever, and then have fast toe pushing back up to planche again.
And staying vertical.
Staying
Like
vertical. Yeah,
parallel to
the
the
whole
ground.
time like body straight, like lining. So it was beautiful. It was insane.
That's insane.
Like the level was very high, so it was a great preparation for the World Championship.
Yeah.
So I commit some mistakes actually. Like I fall on my first round, what it was a shame. But like that's okay. And like, but the other rounds was great. Like,
So you fell on your first round, and so for anyone who's not familiar with how these comps go, it's they're not all the same. The format could be different. So you get like maybe sometimes it's one round. So you go like I go, then you go, and we basically do a performance. Sometimes it's multiple rounds,
mm-hmm.
and then the coach, not coach, the judges might say, okay, give us an extra round if it's not clear enough, and they just kind of judge it off the back of it. And the judging could be slightly different from sort of location to location, or judges. Obviously, when you have judges in place, sometimes it's a little bit impartial. They're not supposed to be. They're supposed to look at it and score it. Say, if you hold the planche for X amount of seconds, like 3 seconds, your standard 3 second hold, and you get so many points. If you do a handstand push up, you get so many points.
Yes.
If you add up the points and you kind of go, okay, it's a bit like boxing, like who landed more jabs, who landed more uppercuts. You can kind of score it, and then it's like 1v1 battles is typically the way these comps are done.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where it's a little bit different from, say, something like breakdancing, where you get up there and you do something. There is like, they just kind of judge you on like how technical it was or how power it was, how big the power moves were. So this one's it can be quite technical. Freestyle's tough because in order to judge freestyle, you gotta know all the moves. Don't you agree, Ronaldo?
I agree, yeah.
It's like through most of the time, like what was the hardest movie you did as a freestyle movie you were describing? I know the one, something 540. What's it called?
Yeah, Super 540.
Okay, describe the Super
Yeah,
540
Super
if you can.
540, I do a flip over to the bar. So I do a giant, like arms insupinated, and like go all the way up, and on top, I let go the bar, do 540 flip, and re-grab. So it's very hard. It's very, very hard. And it's
In the
very
middle of a
dangerous.
giant swing.
Yeah, and it's very hard and very dangerous at the same time. It's because you can't see the bar because it's a back flip. For example, the bar is here. I have to flip using my back and then re-grab when the bar is in front of me. It's very quick. It's like less
my
than
God.
1 second movement. So it's very hard.
Wait, how long did it take you to do that or learn that one?
I cannot tell you. It was too quick for me. Actually, I learned in 1 day. So,
Guys.
but like when I was young, I was crazy. So I was
See,
not.
this is a
Just
face
want
of
to punch
hate.
him in the face.
This is a face yeah, we just want to punch you. Just learn it one day.
I
I just
literally
walked
like.
in and started calisthenics. I did muscle up in 2 weeks.
But like I don't know, like it's because I did capoeira in the past, so I think the flip was not the problem. The problem for me was the fear because you have to let go the bar, you know? But like at the first time I tried was literally like in few hours. So it's a hard move, but like yeah. I don't like say that because one day looks easy, but like it's so hard.
Okay. So for like, there are a lot of guys who are listening to this and they think, okay, so I do some capoeira, I learn a bit of
Yeah.
learn a bit of calisthenics, and then in 3 hours I'll learn how to do the
The
Super
Super
540.
540 was literally
Uh,
it was literally in 1 day. So
but the reality is that it's a sum of all your training.
Yeah, definitely.
right? It's learning, it's mastering the giant.
Mm-hmm.
It's mastering
It's more the
about
giant. Yeah,
20, 30 different versions of the
version.
regrabs,
Yeah,
right? And building up that confidence.
yeah. And like talking
But
about the comp, was 7 rounds in one day. Like 7 rounds is a lot. So the first phase was the presentation, 45 seconds presentation, and then we had the quarters, like 2 rounds, one versus one, and then semi-final and the
each
finals,
battle is how long? Sorry, each battle
45.
is
First,
45. Just
yeah,
one,
two,
two. So two
two.
45-second routines.
Yeah, like two in
Yeah,
the final, two in the semi-final, two in the quarters, so 6 rounds, and then the presentation 7 rounds. 7 rounds in one day is a lot.
it's insane.
Yeah. The other
And it's
day,
not. Sorry to interrupt you. It's not freestyle really, okay? Because most of the time you walk in and you have a routine in your mind.
mm-hmm,
So you
mm-hmm.
must have prepared for 7 rounds. You'd have to prepare 15, 16 routines. Am I right?
Like you can copy if I can repeat my routine.
You can repeat your routine,
Yeah, like I don't like, but I can repeat. For
especially
example,
in the early rounds.
yeah, especially in the early rounds. So, for example, Um, I did my presentation and as I told you, I fell. But my second round, I decided to change everything. So because I failed my first round, for my second routine, I did a really hard combo. So, and the same final, I did a hard combo but was not that hard. And the final, I did the hardest
Right.
because
Wow.
the levels is different. So every step is harder. Yeah.
Man, it's hard work.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, you have to be able to make up a freestyle on the way.
Yeah. Like
Would
depend.
you would you ever go into a comp and not have would you ever go in and have it all prepared? Or have you ever gone in and it was never not even prepared? You literally freestyle it.
No, I always have my plan.
You always have a plan?
Yeah, since I started, so
That's
yeah,
how he wins.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Whoa.
You can, I think like you can trust, like you have to be prepared. Like, for example, sometimes you can hold 3 seconds planche, sometimes not. So it's better you don't do it, in my
Yeah.
opinion. So you don't gonna hold literally.
Gotta make sure you send me that a video of the 540.
I will, yeah.
Yeah. So that I'll put it on this
I
video
tag,
as well.
yeah, I tag you on the social media, like, but yeah,
Yes. Of course. Yeah.
yeah,
Do you have one with a bit of slow mo?
I can do it. Yeah, I can send to
You can
you.
do one in slow mo. Give me two versions, one in full mo and one in slow mo, and then we'll tag this into a video so people can kind of appreciate how hard
Yeah,
and scary the
it's so
540
hard.
is.
Yeah. I do like a checklist, so I know my order. For example, I'm gonna start with planche, and then I do a check, and then planche push up check, and then planche press check, and then go to the sides touch, and I just keep like doing check in my mind, so I know the order. So if everything goes wrong, for example, when I fell goes wrong, and I have a second plan as well, so I'm prepared for every single situation.
And you can mask most of it, right? You can hide most of it unless you drop.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
When you drops, it sucks because you have to start again. So and like you lose confidence as well. So when you fail, like I think if you fail, you have to keep your mind like focused, straight. Okay,
Mm.
you fell, so don't keep this in your mind because if you keep this in your mind, you're gonna fail again if you try.
Yeah, if you keep focusing on it.
Yeah. Okay, if you
Yeah.
fail, that's alright. Like you fail, just come back and do again. Like
So, anyone ever turns up to these things and just rips out muscle ups? Just
not
does
really,
muscle up.
not really. But like they have a street lift competition on the other
Yeah.
side. Some people was doing like weighted muscle ups and this stuff, but not for the freestyle.
Not for freestyle, right?
No, it's because
Yeah.
like if someone do just muscle up, like it's too hard someone win. For example, muscle up is 1 point. If I do
Pull up,
planche,
did you say?
muscle up,
It's 1 point.
yeah, just 1 point. If I do planche, it's like 10. The other guy have to do 10 muscles for do like for compare
To
the same.
even.
Yeah,
And that's if the judges are counting it right.
mm-hmm.
They might count a muscle up as 0.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, well, on the topic of muscle ups, though. So Jian does have a muscle up workshop coming, and she can do 10 in a row, or almost 10 in a row. So her muscle up is equal to Ronaldo's 1 planche.
Close. Oh my God, imagine.
Technically speaking,
yeah.
it's the same. But
9
in
points.
reality, of course, 10 muscle ups is not 1 planche. Just because you can do 10 muscle ups does not mean you can do 1 planche. It's two very, very different
It's very
skills.
different. Yeah.
But 10 muscle ups is hard. And so congratulations, Jian. I think, have you actually got 10 yet, or was that 9?
No, that was 9.
Oh, okay. I take the congratulations back.
9.5.
Oh, that's so harsh. 9 on the bar, right?
Yeah.
With a teeny tiny kip. Yeah, that's good effort. That's a really, really good effort. It's hard. Not many girls can do muscle ups on the bar. It's
That
one
is
of the
true,
toughest
actually.
skills.
But
Like on the
magic
on the bar.
happens.
Sorry.
Magic happens in the classes, and especially L9 program and skills. Yeah. I had 3 last April and then 9 recently. So whenever we're doing in program, amazing.
I think the secret there is just a lot of repetition, a lot of time doing it. Like all the
100%,
prerequisite.
yeah, the base pull strength. And we've had this discussion in the last one of the episodes. And it's essentially like with the muscle up workshop, that's what we go through. It's like the whole movement. So not only just understanding how much pull power we need, like even how to approach it, especially, and the workshop is for all levels. So whether you're just starting out or you've actually got a muscle up you want to refine, it's understanding, like, if you can break down the whole movement and know where you need refinement, then fantastic, you start working there. So yeah, with the workshop, we break it down. We had our first week last Saturday, and then the second session will be this Saturday. And
Yeah.
so last week we went through a lot of the pull power, pull technique, and the movement pattern going in that C arc shape, going up instead of vertical. And we're going to dive right into more of the transition work this Saturday, and essentially tying that all together and having a crack at the full muscle up movement. Yeah.
Nice.
So that'll be fun.
Did everyone have a lot of fun doing it?
Yeah, it was good actually breaking it down. I love to take the time to break it down because I think a lot of people miss some crucial parts, especially the transition of even the wrist. They don't realize I feel like it's a common, I guess, mistake people make trying to go vertical and then not with the hands switching the grip, sliding forward. Yeah.
Yeah.
And getting stuck. Mm.
Well, you guys heard it. It's on this Saturday. Let's if you guys need an extra run at this, hit us up and we'll talk about maybe putting on another workshop. But Jian's taking you through how to get a muscle up, and we're not looking at it as you're not turning up going, oh, I can already do 10 muscle ups, then I'll come to Jian's thing. It's like it's designed for people who've never done it, right?
Oh.
For everyone. Yeah, great. Cool. Excellent. So thanks, Jian, for telling us about the muscle up. I hope you're catching some clips for the muscle up workshop.
Yeah. I'll
Oh,
try.
yeah. Oh, I hope you're catching some. All right, now let's actually get into evolution. So let's get into the real reason we're here today. Well, let's talk about evolution. It is, the way I see it is, it's fundamentally a goal setting system. It sits inside the L9 program. I got this stat online. I can't remember where I got this now, but it is a research from Brazil, actually. So around from where you're at, Ronaldo. And researchers tracked 2 different groups in a gym. One group set goals based on their previous tests, which were really realistic, really progressive. So it's kind of looking at what I've currently done, right? So one group said, "Oh, what can I do? Let's set goals based on where I'm at, what can I do?" And then the other group walked in with lofty goals. So the other group walked in and said, "Oh, maybe I'll do a whatever," and they just picked something heavy. This is from fitness perspective. Um, and the research showed that you'd think that the guys who are looking dream big, you know that whole saying, dream big, right? So the guys who come in and they're dreaming big, you'd think that they are the ones who'd be more motivated and accomplish more. But it turns out that is not the case. So the motivated group, their studies showed that the motivated group skipped more sessions. They got frustrated faster, got more upset quickly, and they actually made less progress. Meanwhile, the realistic group trained more often, stayed consistent, and as a consequence, improved across the board. That literally is what we're trying to solve with evolution. I wanted to ask you guys, what do you think is the most unrealistic goal that a new member comes in and sets? You don't have to say names, but if you got a story of like somebody coming in with a goal that's just unrealistic based on where they were at.
Yeah, definitely. Like some people's come and they wanna do planche, for example, even pistol squat. Like, oh, I wanna do pistol, but like they don't have the mobility yet. So yeah, all the time.
What percentage of people come in, do you think, with these sort of goals?
Depends of the location. Like for Prime, I would say maybe 60-40 or 50-50. But in Unawari,
50-50?
yeah, in Unawari it's like 20-80. So
As in 80 come in unrealistic?
no, came in 80 come with a nice goal, like, oh, my first pull up, like just be consistent. And like 20 is like, oh, muscle up in 1 month.
Okay. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. When you look at the numbers and on success rate, that makes sense. What about you, Jen? Are you seeing the same sort of thing?
Not as much in Fitzroy. I think a lot more realistic goals, or I think I get a lot of people going like, I just want more mobility, which is actually fantastic to hear. So like, yeah, Ronaldo said demographic does make a difference. But yeah, here and there, 100%, people come in. There's just a lack of understanding or knowledge.
Hmm.
Like we've all done that. I put my goal up. It's funny, on our goals board, I put up backwards roll. And I'm telling people to be realistic. Here I am going like backwards roll. I'm not even working on that. So I'm like,
What's a backwards roll?
so on the rings, yeah, when we do
Yeah.
forwards roll, the backwards roll, but you need a solid bent arm planche. I don't have a solid, I'm working on it, but it's not there yet. So I'm like, I was telling people, okay, be realistic.
I think part of the issue, okay, so I see that before they come in, before a new member starts or before someone starts, I see the goals are out of whack. Once they walk in and they learn a little bit more, then the goals kind of shift towards something that makes sense into something that's a little bit closer, something that's more achievable. You know, within a few weeks, maybe I can get everyone sort of thinking, okay, here's a more realistic goal. But that's assuming that that person hasn't given up already and has come in for 2 weeks, and then they can kind of settle in on a goal that's a bit more realistic. The whole point of evolution for me is to try to get something right off the bat. Like you're going to start something, you're about to walk into the gym. It's like, let's just pick something that's realistic for your level. And that brings the two challenges. It's like, how do you know what level you're at? It's almost an impossible question to ask. Okay, if someone walks into the gym, like, what level are you at? How do we customize this? How do I tailor this to you? It's almost an impossible question to ask, because if they can do, they can't do a pull up, but they can do the skin the cat, that changes the way you think about that person. It makes it really difficult for us to prescribe solutions because you can't even gauge where that person's at. How long do you think it takes when someone joins before you really sort of get a sense and go, okay, I think this is the right progression for that person?
It's a
You
really good
guys,
question.
how long is it?
Um, it's a really good question. So, for example, if someone come for, let's say, this week, everyone's following the same drills. It's like it's too hard to know. Like maybe at least maybe 1 week, 2 weeks.
2 weeks before
Yeah,
you get a good sense.
yeah.
I think there's a lot of variables as well, like, a person's awareness of their body, how quick they can pick up cues. Like
Hmm.
their
Mm.
past experience plays a huge role. So if you've done training previously, it means like, or you've had coaching or even other group classes, it's a sign sometimes where it's like, at least you've had exposure to that. So then it's like, you might pick things up quicker. Whereas for someone else, like maybe never trained before, then it's like there's a lot to learn. So the journey might be a little bit longer, maybe not even 2 weeks, maybe a little bit longer.
And to get but to get a complete view from your perspective as a coach, when you're looking at someone, like I remember the first time you walked in, for me to assess where you were at was so hard. Like I had to just guess. I couldn't tell. Like it was weird. You couldn't do a muscle up, but you could do a tuck planche push up. Do you remember that? I've seen there's a girl comes into Ashmore, and I think this is her 4th week now. And it's about now that I can start seeing, okay, that's where she's weak. That's where she's stronger. That's the issue she faces. That's not the issue. Like I'm constantly watching and thinking, trying to work out what that sort of stuff that person needs. Just the assessment alone is painful and difficult to remember. Oh, we lost Ronaldo.
Hello?
Mm. Mm. Ah, Ronaldo, you're back.
And yeah, I think like was my internet, so sorry.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that's okay. It all
But it's
happens.
like it's a really good topic. Like some people is stronger in push, for example, but it's weaker in pull. So it's really hard to know.
It's really hard to assess.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's kind of where evolution started from. That was
Mm-hmm.
where the thinking came from, right? So
Mm-hmm.
we've got bent arm pull, we've got bent arm push. I know it's only 2 at the moment, all right? And I'll talk about where that's going to go next. So bent arm pull being rows, pull ups, muscle ups. Bent arm push being um,
Push up
push ups,
tips.
dips, handstand push ups, roughly, right? That's sort of main set there. This allows each person to go through and check off all the different things that they should be able to do. Okay, well, if I'm intermediate, then this should be the approximate set of things I should be able to do. The whole idea was 2 things. One was to get the person to look at that set and go and assess for themselves, here's where I'm strong, here's what I'm missing. So that, I wanted to shift the ownership of that progression to the member, to the person who's training. If you think about your individual journeys, like Ronaldo, you own your own journey, right? You know what you're going to be working towards,
Mm-hmm.
right? Right from the beginning when you very started training.
Right from the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah. And you knew you're going to go here, then you're going to go here.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like following these steps. So
Yeah. And the steps were from a program somewhere?
yeah, I was really training a group in Brazil. Like it was how I learned like everything.
Yeah. And so you had this program that you followed, but you would deviate from the program, right? You
Mm-hmm.
would go away from the program and do
Mm-hmm.
your own thing a little bit and just kind of find your way through it.
Find my way. Yeah.
Yeah. Would that loosely describe the way your journey would look like, Jian? Did you have a plan? Do you have a strategy
Yeah, pathway. Knew exactly the exercises to work on to get to what I needed to achieve.
to get there? That's kind of what I'm trying to get for a member. Because when you first come in, it's so daunting. Like you say something like, I want to do a muscle up. Like even just a muscle up, there's so many pieces in between. And the whole idea is to chunk it down and to also challenge, like, it's not linear. The line's not straight. To go from nowhere to muscle up, the line's not like do A, then do B, then do C. There's like 50 different things you might want to string together to get to that final position. It's just like the the Super 540 conversation. Like to master that, you got to get the giant swing. You got to get think of the entire body of work that built in just to that moment before you did the 540. So that's one of the
Mm-hmm.
big goals of evolution, was to do that. And then, of course, once you could identify where your holes were individually, the whole idea is to go, okay, I'm now going to go tackle this one, and I'm now going to specifically tackle that. And so that brings to the second reason of why I'm thinking we want to do evolution, or why I think evolution needs to be brought in, especially into class, was that the thinking was I'm spending a lot of time telling people, you need to spend 10, 15 minutes drilling this. But we don't put time aside for that. So I wanted to ask you guys one last question, which was, if you were to design a goal, so let's just say someone who's starting from new, right? So let's think about skills. Let's think about things that someone should try to accomplish. If it is their first 12 weeks, what do you think are the big ones that someone should try to attempt for a beginner? Like, what are the big skills you think someone should nail? Like, if you had to pick 1, 2, or 3, maybe.
Complete beginner.
Yeah, ish. Beginner-ish. Say,
I like pike push-ups. They're hard. They're very hard. But if we break it down, regress versions, they're amazing. And I think they're one of the best exercises. Number one, for shoulder strength, for learning your protraction. It's like learning something you don't know why you're learning it, but later on you appreciate it. Because then later on, everything else gets easier. Every other skill gets easier. It unlocks, I think, a lot more things to play
I
with.
love that.
Because
Yeah.
then you go into shoulder stand and it's like, boom, shoulder stand is easy because you understand the movement pattern of a pike push-up. And then that gets fun because then you go, I'll sit there, shoulder stand, like what we're doing this week and last week in skills. I'm like, it's a lot of fun. But if you don't understand pike push-ups, you don't know that push, like it gets pretty hard.
Yeah.
I really like pike push-ups.
I didn't even think about the pike push-up I was thinking about what I would answer with, and that's not on my list. Pike push-up is probably, arguably, yeah, it's definitely top 3 for sure. It should be a top 3 because you're also learning about where your weight is, forward, back, and just learning how to protract. You can argue it's almost the perfect calisthenic skill.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. Yeah.
And you got to learn to balance. There's a lot of pieces in there. Oh, that's a good one. Oh, yeah. Ronaldo, you got one?
I got frog for beginners.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like for learn the balance, like hands position, and also like some push as well. Frog is really good.
And then you learn to, again, the balancing thing.
Yeah.
Fingers.
You're dealing with fear
Mm-hmm.
of smashing your face on the floor.
Yeah.
And then you have to learn to suck your core in.
Mm-hmm.
Do you even actually, when you guys do frog, do you even consciously suck your core in?
No.
Like
No?
I don't think about that. I just hold
You
it.
don't think about it?
No.
So it's a lovely conversation. I love this because I had to really think about that to realize we have to suck our core in. And I didn't even learn this, by the way. I learned this from a member. Well, one member said to another member, no, you got to really suck your core in and you'll hold it. And then the other person went and sucked the core in and they held it. I looked and I thought, why did I miss sucking the core in? And it just occurred, like after a while, I realized, because I don't have to think about sucking my core in anymore. I just suck my core in automatically.
Yeah.
It's automatic. When you go into this position, you just put your hand out, you feel it straight away. The moment you protract, your core is already firing in. Like Ian's sitting here with my hands up. So you don't even think about it. And it's happening. So like, it's such a good skill to learn. The
frog.
frog. Yeah. I see, I wouldn't even go pull up for me. I don't think it's the most vital. But I think vital for me would be the high hang.
High hang, yeah.
You can do so much once you can high hang.
Mm-hmm.
You can at least play.
True. Pull over. All that stuff.
Yeah, you can start pullovers. You can do little silly things like it helps with the skin the cats. And each time you do a skin the cat or you do a hang or you do a pullover, you're kind of doing a pull up. So you're not really, doing a pull up or row. I would argue that those 3 that we just called out are probably the 3 quintessential ones. Like if you were to go really set it, but they are actually big goals. Doing a high hangs hard, pike push-ups hard. Frog for someone can be really quite scary. They're actually really big goals as is. And they're all supposed to sit inside evolution. So we don't have frog, but we have pike push-up and we have high hang. So we don't have frog yet. Frog's going to sit inside inversions. So I'm going to try to create a whole tree just like the ones we currently have. I'm going to create one for headstands, handstand shapes. Frog will be in there. Crow will be in there. So I'm going to like build all that up, and it'll tie in with a handstand progression tree, and it might be all in one. It might just call it an inversion tree.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to do straight arm push and straight arm pull, which on the surface sounds like a really short series. It isn't. It's a big series. It's a big series, and you'll see when I'm done with it. It's not a short series. And then we still need to do legs. The one that I don't know what to do with. Question for you guys: what do I do with core and dragon flag? Where the F does that sit? Because I have been thinking about that hard. It sits all everywhere. Core and glutes. There's no wrong answers. Let's throw this out. I'm workshopping this.
I think like with the wrist and hips and shoulders, open shoulders, it's like having a one routine. If you have one routine, or even if you come to stretch, that we have like a specific routine.
Specific training.
Consistency. I was like, or like even in program, the 15 minutes of stretch that we put in, I'm like, the consistency there, like you will get there. And yes, it's hard to track. So how do you track that? How do you track progress?
Yeah, how do we fit it in evolution? Where did we put
That's
that?
a great question.
Yeah, maybe it doesn't fit.
I
But
don't
it
think it will.
absolutely matters. Like, okay, this is
Yeah,
the problem with goal setting, right? So we'll walk in. So I knew this walking in, by the way, when we're trying to do evolution. It's like next thing you know, I was thinking, okay, high hangs are important, pike push-ups important, handstand push-ups important. Okay, so you're like fixated on these skills, but then it's detracting the focus as well at the same time from wrist mobility, shoulder, hips, all these like vital things. I don't know where to put it.
like dragon flag, I would say like it's kind of regression to from labor. Like
I
maybe
agree.
could fit like dragon flag and from labor. But it's too hard to say. So
Okay, Dragonflight's tricky. So for anyone who doesn't, okay, so let's discuss why, right? So I'll explain why it's a tricky one. But for anyone listening, the Dragon Flag has a direct impact on your handstand,
Mhm.
back lever, front lever. Human flag has a direct impact on your push up
And like
and to a degree your pull up as well.
mhm. You said about back lever, for example, back lever and planche just change the position, like the form, the line, the core is the same shape. So back lever, you have to protraction, planche, you have to use the protraction as well. It's just arm position, actually, like arms in back lever is back and like in planche in this way. And the people don't think about that. So
Yes,
yeah,
they
like,
don't.
yeah, it's
So
tricky.
I'll tell you what my current strategy is. My current strategy is that it's going to sit. So the way I've built it so far is it's going to sit in all of those trees.
Mhm.
So it's going to be like maybe call it a level 3 difficulty move, right? And it's going to sit on all those trees. If you tick it off in straight arm pull, then it takes it off for straight arm pull and push
Yeah.
as well. And if it takes it off it takes it off the handstand line as well.
I think like you could create a tree for like Joker. Like, okay, this is the joke skills and like it's combined with everything. Like,
The Joker, the wild card ones.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's not a silly idea. But create one extra one called like you can't call it miscellaneous because it is anything but miscellaneous. The dragon flag's anything but miscellaneous. From your perspective, do you think I'm worrying about trying to get something way too structured, or do you think it should be loose?
I think should be loose.
You think it should be loose?
Yeah.
Your thoughts, Jian?
I think certain things structure is good because then it helps you to understand the journey ahead. So from a learning perspective, structure is good. But everybody's different. So that's where it gets tricky. It's like Ronaldo said, like we don't know whether you're stronger in push or pull, and then whether you have like mobility issues. So maybe the non-structured part can come through with like maybe the stretchy part with the open hips and stuff, and even wrist. Like we don't know if someone's had an injury. My gosh, then that plays a huge part. Uh, yeah, yes and no.
Yes
There's
and
a
no,
lot of variables.
50-50?
You have like a huge challenge to tackle right there.
Yeah, we are trying to tackle a big problem.
Hmm.
What's the reason for loose, Ronaldo?
Because of the same thing Jan said, like everyone knows their own body, so probably they can pick the better drill for them. So if they have more freedom, like probably you'd be better
Yeah. Yeah, but a bit more freedom to look at what the
to look
drills
at.
are.
Yeah.
The documentation that I'm producing is to give you ideas of the drills. And it's also to help you have something to discuss with coach.
Hmm.
So like I'm imagining if I walk in and I go, hey, I want to do typewriter pull-ups. Gian, it says to me to do this, this, and this. And it looks really hard. And it sounds like it puts us in a spot where you and I can have a really meaningful conversation about doing typewriters. And that's kind of the idea of what we want to do with allowing people to set some goals, but also to read and have a thought about the drills before they haven't attempted it at evolution. It's to have a conversation, because if we don't have these conversations, it's really hard to tell someone precisely which drill to go for. So that's the structured bit I'm trying to get to. Like imagine if everyone walked in and they went, okay, we're gonna do some bent arm pull work, and everyone had a little bit of something what they wanted to work towards, and then they were asking you, how do I get better from why am I stuck here? Why can't I do this bit? Where am I stuck? And your job as coach would be to help them get across those lines. But you're gonna have very specific conversations, right?
Hmm.
Which I think is gonna benefit someone who's connected to the drill. Then where it's loose is, it's like, well, you setting your own goals. And if you can't be bothered to read and think about it, well, that's okay. We've got something for you to do. All
Hmm.
right. So we've got a plan. You're going to go do this. If you can't be bothered to read, you don't bother to think, and you don't want to know, fine. But if you do want to think and you want to have a really meaningful conversation about trying to get to the next phase, then this is a great conversation starter as a minimum. Right. If not, and the maximum is like you're writing it down, you're thinking what you're going to do, making notes and tracking some sort of progression. That's kind of how I imagine that's how I'm imagining it would fit. So it kind of gives a bit of both, and you can kind of make progressions and regressions as somebody who is training
Training.
at L9. And it's just to put some time aside to work towards your goals. Because I think a lot of people also complain, I never get time to work on the stuff I want to specifically do. Which is an excellent segue onto how this is going to change. And this will be the final segue. We're going to talk about how this is going to change programming and coaching at L9. I got a bit of feedback. L9 is just going to switch to like everyone uses the app, walks in, looks at your workout, and just does the workout. Have you heard that one yet? Oh, so eventually we're just going to use our app, work out what we're going to do, and come in and do it. That's the one I've been running into. And I just really wanted to say here was that the intent is not to replace the coach's role. And the intent is not to replace a class environment, and is not to drive people to self-training. That's not what it's about. The whole goal of going to evolution is just to put small blocks aside. I think we still must have, and this is why L9 program works, is that we force you to do the drills you don't want to do. All right, all the birds, all the banded glutes. You guys love banded glutes. I hate that. Everyone's nodding, by the way, for everyone on the podcast. We've got coaches nodding. They don't realize they're on a podcast.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. So um I think that's never going to change because we still need to drive the program forward. And I can kind of see already, having tried to roll this out, that I feel like evolution fits a little bit better in the build phase than it does in the conditioning phase. What do you guys think?
Yeah, looking at the program this week, 100%.
It was so hard to fit it in this week, wasn't it? Evolution.
It'd be a detour to like conditioning.
Too much of a detour, you'd say.
Yeah, I'm gonna say too much, but it is a detour because if someone's working on strength, they're doing low reps, which takes away from the focus of conditioning. And yeah, I think a majority of your goals, even on there, would be like lower reps because you're exploring, trying to refine it. And so thinking about that, like, yeah, you actually have a point. Build phase would be probably the ideal.
Ideal.
And it fit perfectly because then there's always some sort of pull or push, and then it's a perfect time. And it's always what 5x5s, and that's
Yeah.
essentially like
3 of 6x8.
yeah.
Right? And that's screaming for evolution.
Mm-hmm.
So the more
And
I'm
you can
looking at
easily
them,
fit it in. Yeah.
yeah. So I think it's a better fit in build because then people can really work. Because what's evolution? What's build about is like refining down into the thing that you're missing and dealing with those things. Right? That you really get to do that in build. In conditioning, do you guys love the program this week? By the way, oh, we lost Ronaldo again.
I'll wait till we get back. Oh, and we're back.
Oh, he's back. Do you guys love the program? By the way, this week.
Everyone loves it.
Everyone loves it.
They
Yeah.
love your burpees. I gotta
Yeah.
give you that good feedback. They're crying.
I got so many good feedbacks. Like Mark was saying, should it be hard to like this forever?
Forever. Oh my god. You're gonna make some people at Pitstory cry. Forever.
Yeah, it should be hard like this forever. And like talking about evolutions as well, I got so many good feedbacks. So yeah, definitely is a good thing.
Please share. Tell me.
Like,
Regale me.
for example, there's a guy. He's been coming to L9 since we opening here, like almost 1 year training, and like he's proving his pull up, and he didn't know what is running pullover, and like when he was like trying to find the drill, he was like, "What is running pullover?" And he's almost got the muscle up hit, but he cannot do the running pullover. So I think like your education, the members, so would this come first than that, you know? So it's a really good thing, and like everyone loved the idea about now I have my time for training my own thing. So yeah, it was a really good update.
Well, that's good to hear. Yeah, it's actually a great point. It's like identifying the holes in the training, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
You're like, oh man, I forgot that I need to work on frog.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What's the
Well,
biggest negative you've had?
I think it was like about the app. So the biggest negative I had was like I don't want to lose my app doing the workout, but like this is not the point. Like you're gonna grab your app just for check the drill and then work out. It's not like keeping the whole part using your app.
Everyone that you can think of that has gotten somewhere knows those two things. I want this, and these are the things I'm going to do to go do it. Like it's a I don't know what's the right word. I can't think of the right English word here. But it's a word. Basically, everyone who succeeds has those two key pieces. That's really what evolution's about. So it's not intended for you to walk in and go, okay, let me work out now what I want to do. Let me find it out. Now that if you're doing it in class, it's too late. That means you've not really connected to it. That's the way I'm sort of thinking about it. But it's such a big shift to get people to start owning that little bit, you know? So I think that's a little bit of games is just see if we can, and I get it, not everyone wants to do that. So we don't want to force everyone to do it either. But if you set it, makes a huge difference. Mm. What about you, Gian? Feedback, good, positive, negatives?
No, it's been good. I think in the time, it's like once people understand what it is, and once we get that message out, like it is essentially a tool. it's a tool there that you can use. Some people already know what their goals are and they know what they need to do, so they go do it in that 10-minute block. Other people don't know or aren't aware yet, and so they're still exploring. So the tool is great to kind of explore, learn a bit more, understand like what's an easier version, what's a harder version of this drill. And then once you know, like, yeah, you don't need your phone. It's like, and it's the start's always the hardest, like onboarding people. It's like actually learning what is this tool, right? It's like AI, what's AI? And until you understand it, they're like, oh, okay, it's not going to take over my job. It's going to make things easier. And so this is another something like an AI. Like it's a tool that's going to make your life easier, the journey easier, and it's an option. So it's there to use or it's not. And some of the members knew what they needed to work on. So in the block, they went straight, did their workout or their drill or their exercise. Others, yeah, 100% utilize the tool, right? And went through and like, wow, okay, there's another checking off little. Some people unlock some skills they never actually did, like a pullover I had. I think Prachi at Nana Wadding's like, oh, this pullover. She watched your video and then I kind of guided her and then she unlocked it. I'm like, just like that.
Yeah.
And she never did
Oh,
it. And the whole
really?
time she's been at
Oh, I
L9. I'm
saw
like,
that
what?
video.
Yeah.
I saw that video. Oh,
And so through your tool, it's like actually inspired her. I better tick this one off. It was the next one on her list that she had to tick off. So she got to unlock that one and she's moving on to the next one.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
if you're not
think
sure, you
That's
follow the
good.
journey. Yeah. And if you know, fantastic, you can skip it. There's no rule. You got to go one by one.
and like someone who
Mm.
do evolution one day when they come for the second time, they already know the drills. When I
Yeah.
was running class on Monday, it was a little bit hard, but like on Wednesday it was pretty much the same crew, and everyone knows. Now it's evolution part, so I'm gonna train pull up again. Oh yes, and like I already know. I'm gonna do like some high hangs, like foot assistance.
Okay. So it's feeling positive. It's feeling positive. I think there's a couple of things that need to adjust, but I like that what you said there, Jian. It's both an inspiration tool as well. Because you don't know that the running pullover is something that you may already be able to do.
Mm,
Because now Prachi
100%.
is going to do the running pullover over and over and over and over again because it's a new
Mhm.
toy.
Yeah.
And each time she does that, that's a pull up. One pull up to get there, one pull up to get back down, and there's a little bit of a dip going on as well. The running pullover is a tool to help you unlock the muscle up for anyone who doesn't know. So, so it helps. And the more educated someone is, we get little toys to play with on the way. But it's not going to be forced. I think that's the key thing we're going to get across to everyone. That's going to be a hard thing to get across because it's going to feel like you're forced to go through an evolution journey. You don't have to. We're going to have something for you, but it's better if you did. I think a couple of adjustments that I'm going to be rolling out this week. So, hopefully by the end of this week, it's going to be rolled out. Okay, so you guys can get excited. It's actually already done. I just have this arduous task of writing a lot of this right now. But I'm going to now cut that right down to just what do you do to unlock this? What do you do to get better at this? What do you do to unlock this? So it's just going to have the what do you do? So it's going to have a video of what to do and then what do you do straight under it. So it's quick, right? So you go into it, get it. And you don't have to read and think, it's just nice and short. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm thinking, and I need you guys to give me feedback on this. I'm thinking of grouping all the skills that are beginner or starter into starter. All the skills that are beginner into beginner. All the skills that are intermediate. It's not perfect, but it gives you the full list. The whole reason why I want to do it is I can now say to you, here's all the skills you should learn as a starter. If you're not sure what to do, just go through this list and tick them all off one by one. Keep going till you tick them all off. Once they're all ticked off, go do the next one. You can start the next tree too, but just realize you got stuff that you haven't ticked off in the beginner. So it's like 11 out of 11 tasks complete or 9 out of 11 tasks complete. What do you guys think? Tell me. What do you think? Do you like that as a setup?
Yeah.
I think it's good. It's a good guide. Even for me, if I'm not sure what I'm doing, like it's great. That way you feel a sense of achievement, ticking things off. I'm like, I can do this. And you're learning from it. And if not, fantastic, you're refining it.
So the big change coming up is that, okay, so what I'm hearing for you guys is no complaints on those ideas. So that's what I'm going to roll out. It's going to be set up that way, beginner, intermediate, like that. And then we'll have alongside that, we'll have short instructions. That's just going to get straight to the instructions, but I'm going to keep all the prep information, all the safety information still there. All right. Great stuff. Let's wrap it up. So if you're listening to this podcast and you haven't yet set up goals in Evolution, please give it a crack, or at least give me a few days to roll this thing out and then have a crack at it. I'll send a big email out. You've got nothing to lose. It's, worst case scenarios, you learn a little bit more about where you're at and where you want to progress to. Let's go about next episode. Next week on L9, we're gonna dig into a couple of fun topics. I think the first topic I want to look at is protein and creatine, the classic protein and creatine conversation. Want to look about, we know what it does for bodybuilding. We've heard all sorts of stats around that. I'm going to get Ronaldo and Gian to have a little think about how they approach protein and creatine, and let's jump into a conversation about that next week. And also next week, I'd like to talk about the difference between, we touched on it a little bit today, but the difference between conditioning phase and build phase. And I think want to look at it from your perspectives, what you guys think should we do more of in conditioning and more of in build, but also to kind of talk about expectations, like if in your training, what would you do differently? And finally, let's talk, we'll have a little play of bang, flash, and trash. So for prep for next week, we're going to talk about bang, flash, or trash, and I want to talk specifically about the ring muscle up. All right, good job, guys. Thanks for your time, Ronaldo. Thanks for your time, Gian. I'll catch you guys all next week.
Thank you.
Cool.